Hey, welcome back to Journey Through John, and I'm excited to read with you about Jesus healing the official son in John 4. I see that Jesus has come back to Cana, where he had originally done the miracle at the wedding with the water into wine. And now a man has heard that Jesus has come, and he went to Jesus and asked him to come down and heal his son. It reminds me of a time when my son was almost 4 years old and he spiked a fever and his neck was hurting, and then he threw up, and my husband whipped my son out of bed and took him right to the hospital because he knew something serious was occurring to my son. And I held my little guy's face in my hands while he received a spinal tap, telling him, "You are going to be okay. You're going to be okay. This is okay." He had this spinal tap without even any kind of sedation. And I didn't know if he was going to be okay, but I was speaking, I was believing as if he was going to be okay, to find out that he was diagnosed with spinal meningitis, and he was okay. We were able to go through that hard season, but nothing has driven me to my knees more than my children, and I'm sure you would agree. I say quite often, no one loves our children more than our God, but when we're pressed, we go to God and seek on their behalf like none other. You know, our children are our vessels to the Lord. I wrote in my journal here that their simple childlike faith and belief and honest I wonder questions make me see Jesus and make me see God in new ways. But watching their struggles, whether it's health struggles as I described, or emotional struggles, or friendship problems, learning issues, those things draw me to Christ through my children. I probably have prayed the most when my children are in hard places when it comes to willfulness, whether it's disobedience or frustration, conflict between us. I've prayed more for my children and more for resolution during those situations. But we find in this story that this father is called into faith because of pain of his son. He's at the point of death. But Jesus presses the father a little harder and says, "Unless you see signs and wonders, you will not believe." So he's kind of motive checking here. And then the official says to him, "Sir, come down before my son dies." And Jesus says to him, "Go and your son will live." The man believed the word that Jesus spoke and went on his way. As he was going down, his servants met him and told him that his son was recovering. So the man asked, "What was the hour that my son began to get better?" And the servants told them the hour, and the father knew that this was the hour that Jesus said to him, "Your son will live." And he himself believed. Now I've underlined believe, believed, and believed. And I think that this man believed in a very small way that Jesus could heal his son. But then throughout this conversation and this healing, the man's faith increased, his belief increased. And then when he actually saw the son in full health, the man, he himself believed, in all his household as well. And that's just such a statement about belief, is that we can just come to God with our morsels of belief, and through steps of faith, he will help our faith and belief increase. If you have time, go to Mark 9 and you'll see another story where a father comes to Jesus because his son has an unclean spirit. And we see another journey of belief. The father in Mark 9 says, "But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us." And Jesus presses him and says, if you can, all things are possible for the one who believes." Immediately the father of the child cried out, "I believe, help my unbelief." and that is found in verse 24 of Mark 9. And that is a cry of my heart daily. I believe, God. I really do believe, but there's parts of me that still are growing in belief. Help me with that belief. And so I'm going to leave you with that today. Will you say that prayer to the Lord? I believe in this way, but help my unbelief in other ways. Tomorrow, read John 5 all the way through verse 17, and we'll discuss that together. I'm praying for you. Have a great day.